buds, welcome back to Manables and welcome back to, well, welcome to another Minecraft video. This one has been popping up on my TikTok all of a sudden. All right, I don't know where this came from. I never heard about 1,000 players build a massive civilization in Minecraft, but it seems like a lot of people like it. It's got almost 40 million views. You're gonna get one more. Let's get into it. Hi, how's it going? Check out this thing. I greatly appreciate it. Consider liking, commenting, subscribing. Blech. If you enjoy the reaction content whatsoever, I enjoy watching stuff. I like to talk and pause a lot and assess things and, you know, talk about random stories, whatever it may be. All right, when we react to things, we discuss, we analyze, I dropped something. We gotta just give it its due diligence, all right? A lot of people worked really hard on a lot of stuff that we react to, so I like to put in the time to, you know, appreciate the small details about some things, you know what I mean? So if you like that kind of a reaction style, you might like me. Consider subscribing to all that stuff, all right? I also have a gaming channel. I stream on Twitch. We're gonna start doing more reactions on Twitch as well, so if you wanna join, at some point, the crew, come on over. All right, this is 1,000 players build a massive civilization of Minecraft.
Social experiments ever done in Minecraft. I scattered 1,000 people across 4 massive islands to simulate a realistic civilization. The players were given no help or guidance, and just like in real life, if you die, you remain dead forever.
Oh.
No. Now, each player has the freedom to do whatever they want. Gather resources, join a society, become a dictator, or if it comes down to it, go to war.
Interesting. I didn't know this was a Nuzlocke kind of bitch. You know, if you die, you permanently die. The first thing, you gotta armor up. All right, and you gotta find a squad. That is crazy to me. Fascinating. So at some point, it's gonna be kind of like who survives until the end? Like how does the end work in this?
So many people on each island, anything can happen. But I can promise you one thing. This event ended up having the most entertaining story arc I've ever seen. You do not want to miss this. So pick a nation to root for and enjoy the video. I present to you the 1,000 player civilization experiment.
I wonder how long this took place over. You know, and then do you think when they have servers like this that you can just rewatch everything and from any perspective, or is there someone like following these players the entire time? You know what I mean? How's the camera? Like I've never kind of watched Minecraft content, nor do I understand how the production works in some of it. But like, it'd be cool if you could just kind of let the whole thing play out and then just watch it. But I think that would probably take up a lot of processing power. So there could just be like spectators that are meant to follow along each one.
Don't forget, if you want to participate in these videos, join my Discord server, and of course, subscribe to my channel. All right, everyone ready to be teleported? Jump if you're ready. Okay, here we go.
That's crazy though.
I'm in.
Oh, we get perspectives?
On day 1,
holy
all
shit.
1,000 players were teleported to their islands, each its own biome. We had plains, desert, snow, and jungle.
If I spawned in the ice world, I would have just killed myself immediately. All right, I'm not a skilled Minecraftian, okay? I think I just would not have made it.
This is huge.
Most players spent the first day scouting their island, searching for a place to settle, but almost immediately we started to see people dying, and oddly, they were all coming from the snow island.
Yeah,
it turned out people were freezing to death after getting stuck in powdered snow, which looks exactly like regular snow, but sucks you in like quicksand.
Yeah.
This guy's trying to free his friends. Oh no. Even worse for the poor people on the snow island, trees were almost nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
The desert island also had very few trees, which players needed if they wanted to get wood. But the places where players did find trees quickly became extremely valuable hotspots for groups to settle at and colonize. Look at all these people coming together.
The importance of this would be to, I guess, have a dedicated garden, an herbalist. You know, someone to, I guess, manage the tree growth, population, distribution, to make sure that someone would be able to make sure they all grew and to, you know, distribute it to the people that need it, and to kind of allow that economy to grow. Because once you're out of trees, if you don't have the seeds, you're done, right? So you got to be careful.
Crafting. They're making progress. Meanwhile, the people on the jungle island had essentially unlimited trees and were thus already thinking about other things. What did you say your plan was?
I'm gonna take over the world. This is my right-hand man.
Darbo. Hello, right-hand man Darbo.
Don't talk to him.
Oh.
It doesn't speak.
While having a lot of trees did seem like an advantage at first, many jungle people found the island to be difficult to traverse, given the immense amount of trees and the hostile mobs that would spawn on the surface due to lack of sunlight. This fear of traveling also made it more difficult for jungle people to talk with each other, since players could only read chat messages from people 100 blocks away from them or less. Although frankly, at least they didn't have to see what me and the admins were looking at. Lastly, we get to the Plains Island, and boy was it different from the others.
Oh, it's probably all right. Okay. All right, I can already see the Plains people being pretentious bitches because they have the most beautiful land. They have great resources. It's probably peaceful there. They're like, oh, would you like to join our cult? That's what it's gonna fucking feel like. All right, everybody else is fighting for their fucking lives. All right, jungle's got a lot of mobs, and the Plains are living it out. All right, there's the ice people that are just trying to just breathe for a goddamn second, and then there's people in the desert looking for shade. I can already see this bitch unfolding. Potentially, I guess.
It truly was just the perfect island to live on, with green grass, trees, animals, and no natural dangers. This guy's making a little animal family. Or farm. Not needing to worry about dying as much as everyone else, the people on the Plains Island were among the first to start mining for resources like iron or diamonds. They were also the first to build up villages and, yes, to create civilizations. Throughout the first day, you could see two main groups starting to come together. One of them a democracy led by a player named Horace Crown.
Our aim is building the most beautiful and nicest city on the entire server.
And the second, also a democracy led by a player named Sidefall.
I just want to make sure nobody dies.
It was actually kind of odd how similar these two civilizations were.
Right. But if they're both a democracy, can't you just, like, combine? What's going to be the problem here? Is this going to be something spicy? I don't know. Maybe.
They were both located on the southern shore, they both had democratic elections, and their leaders both wanted good for their own people. I just hope nothing happens to change that.
I'm gonna make an Among Us character.
Never mind, I hope they die. Soon it was the end of day one. Players across all 4 islands logged off and made plans for the following day.
Okay. I was gonna ask about that too, because I'm like, is this gonna be like a forever like on server? Is it, that's what we call it, right? Forever on. It's certain times every day or every other day or certain times a week, whatever it is, where people would log on to play, and then you have until a certain time, and then everybody turns off, so there's no like craziness happening off. I think I like the idea of that, it being that way, so people kind of play at the same time, and then, you know, it's fair. I think I like that.
It was on day 2 when civilizations really began to thrive. In the southeast corner of the desert, what used to be an empty patch of grass was turning into the desert's largest nation. Hello, good sir.
Yo, what's up, Ish? The Sultan is back.
You might recognize the player storming hell from my first civilization video where he led a nation called the Sultanate. Well, now the desert dictator is back with the Sultanate 2.0.
Oh, there's a little oasis. Did you see a little oasis over there? I feel like, I don't know if I would want to join a big community right away. All right, I would want some people that like definitely will have like, you know, good hearts and good perspective, and like that just want to like, you know, just experience the adventure, you know. So we'd make a little small town, and we'd make sure we have the resources and stuff, and then maybe join a city later on down the road, or just appreciate our smaller like team or whatever it may be, and then take it from there. But then we'd also need, you know, a escape plan if God forbid if we got attacked or something like that, and everybody can get out. You know, because I don't know what everybody else is planning or what the goal is, unless it's just to survive as long as possible. But I think that's what I would want, like a team of like 10 maybe, and then just have a well thought out little town experience.
No, and this time with a population of over 100 people.
That's crazy.
I want to maintain order and peace in the desert.
The rules, as established by the Sultan, included wear proper attire, do not eat pork, complete your mandatory work, and most importantly, acknowledge the Sultan as the supreme and divinely chosen leader. Moving on, since it was still hard to get food in a dry climate, the people of the Sultanate focused on developing different types of food production, like fishing in the surrounding ocean.
Fair.
On top of this, a player named Drip Chicken made
Odysseus could never.
the chicken market, although when I checked it out myself, it turned out to be a very different type of market.
Welcome to Los Pollos Hermanos.
Thank you.
Would you like some totally legal sugar?
Anyway, we finally go back to the Snow Island. As I was flying around, I found what I can only describe as a British shrimp. Is the cold climate really the best place for a shrimp?
I mean, depends. Look at my little friend over here, you know?
Wait, who's your friend? Underneath?
Yeah, he's fully here. He's literally...
Oh,
Okay.
he's chilling.
oh, he's up here now.
No, my fish buddy. Please go back down.
Despite the killer powdered snow and the occasional polar bear, the people on the snow island were actually doing pretty well building settlements together.
Good.
Nobody was fighting because everyone had one common enemy, the harsh climate. That being said, it turned out that all of these snow settlements might be a bit more than just little communities. On day 2, rumor was getting out about a conspiracy that, despite them all being spread out across the entire island, a lot of these snow settlements were actually all being run by one single person, whose goal was to unify the entire snow island under one mighty empire. This person's name was Alanulo.
Alanulo. Okay. I mean, I like the idea of like, hey, let's just bond together as a bunch of ice people, all right? You gotta have your villages and stuff, but let's work together, but like you can keep your space. I like that plan so far. Alanulo, all right? I'm very interested to see how the planes are gonna be doing.
Running this entire empire recruitment operation from an underground bunker where he felt he was safe for the time being. Essentially what he would do was hold meetings with people who were already leaders of their own settlements and convince them to merge their civilizations with his empire so they would be stronger together. He would give these leaders orders to fulfill, and in exchange they would be guaranteed high-ranking positions in the empire. If this empire actually succeeds in uniting all 300 people on the Snow Island, it would easily become the most powerful nation in the world. In fact, it would be bigger than the Sultanate and the two Plains democracies combined. Will this ambitious plan actually succeed?
Shit.
Let's see what happens.
How? Like, if there's 1,000 people, there should be relatively 250 people per continent, right? So is everybody else just like, you know, and there's one place like, hey, 250 people, round it up. Even though we lost like 50 people in the beginning, we gotta do something. That's crazy to me.
Happens in the following days.
That's so deep. What the fuck? Oh, that's a player count.
We've now covered the politics of every island except for the jungle. So what's going on here? Well, quite frankly, I had no freaking idea. It was chaos. There were about 30 different camps and tribes spread out across the entire island, and a lot of them were in constant fights with each other. Who are the? What is going on? There's a fight here. Here's a tribe that imprisoned one of their own members for being, quote, too rich.
I say we tax him and then let him out of jail.
Them boots, take your shoes.
So overall, there was chaos, nobody trusted one another, and to add to this, nobody wanted to travel too far into the jungle because they were scared of rogue tribes and especially hostile mobs.
Interesting.
In fact, we actually had to remove creepers.
You think that this would happen more in a place where, like, it's a little bit more advantageous to take out other people, you know, where resources aren't as rich, but the jungle might be the richest, and also there's the most, like, you know, potential threat for like NPC, whatever it may be. You know, you would think that they would, you know, at least not take care of each other, but stay out of each other's way if that's how they felt. But like attacking each other in like this area with like the spawns and shit, like that is a mess. That is a mess.
On day 3, because they were killing too many people.
That's whoever asked.
Now, there were actually 2 tribes that were considered the most influential in the jungle. The first, a river-based settlement called the Sea People, whose leader was killed almost immediately by a random rogue tribe. The new leader, Yeatspeak, dedicated his rule to maintaining order, but also to keeping his people happy by setting up events like stand-up comedy nights.
I got a few jokes about unemployed people. Oh wait, none of them work.
The second influential tribe was located in the dead center of the jungle, and it was what appeared to be a faction revolving around the worship of a player named Seth. Hello, Mr. Seth.
Oh, what's up, bro?
Oh, this is just creepy. You're telling me this isn't a personality cult?
Nah, I wouldn't say that.
I respect it. I respect it. I want to see a cult in action in this. So you know what? I think I support Seth for the time being.
A way of life, alright? It's a religion.
Lastly, as I was flying around, I happened to run into this guy again.
I'm gonna take over the world.
Believe it or not, he had actually become the leader of a pretty impressive settlement. Granted, there was a lot of internal drama in his tribe.
Do you see this like really cool tower thing that we're building here?
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah. It's really cool, isn't it? And do you see our farm over there? It's really cool and nice. Now come over here. Could you tell us what this is?
In short, two of Wazik's tribe members built a librarian's tower, and he thought it was ugly and wanted to burn it down. When I talked to the librarians, they said Wazik just doesn't like the library because he's illiterate. As I said, drama. Now, the jungle wasn't the only place.
I mean, they could dress it up a little bit, right? You can't just, if everybody else is building nice structures, you guys are really just gonna build a block of wood? And that's your library? You're not going to give the respect to the books?
Place having problems. The Plains Island was seeing both a surge in development, this whole place is awesome, but also a rise in tension. The leader of one of the Plains democracies, Horus Crown, had found out that the other Plains nation run by Sidefall had reached out to the Snow Island looking for potential alliances. Horus Crown did not like that Sidefall was reaching out to other islands instead of reaching out to him, so he quickly established his own alliance with two other Plains settlements, both located on the east side of the island, which would essentially cut off Sidefall's access to most of Plains if a war were to break out.
We think Sidefall is definitely up to something, and we're planning to stop him.
The people living on the Plains Island, who had otherwise taken their peaceful lives for granted, were getting very worried about a potential massive war that would devastate their homes.
Here in KFC, we want family, not war.
Meanwhile, on the desert island, the Sultan storming hell was not happy when he discovered that a group of mountaineers had made their home on the mountains surrounding the Sultanate. So the two groups had a meeting to discuss this dispute over land.
Why does the Sultanate have any more right to apply?
I agree with that. You know, because if I built this big like little town and then these random people are like, we're gonna live above you. We're gonna live above you. We can watch you and do whatever we want and have whatever information we need. I'm like, I don't know if I feel comfortable with you there. All right, maybe you can move down the mountain somewhere else. Or just not have like a height advantage over us where like I'm sure there's a lot of lava that you can potentially just bridge out in 30 seconds and pour over the whole town. I hope that doesn't happen.
Simply might makes right. We're stronger, so if it comes down to it, may the stronger group win.
People in the desert were starting to get worried about Storming Hell's tyrannical nature, so some of them moved to a quickly growing democratic nation on the other side of the island. This was Theria, the name derived from the Greek word for freedom. I asked their elected president, Saps, about the Sultanate.
Hopefully we can establish some peaceful relations for now. I mean, we're in the middle of a desert. Why fight, you know?
Overall,
why are they all in a bathing house together?
Each island had its own conflict between the desert's Sultan dominance, the plains' alliance disaster, the jungle's total chaos, and the Snow Empire's takeover. At least one of these conflicts was bound to erupt.
Okay, all right, let's talk about what we got so far. I don't know if I'm really feeling anyone on the plains map. All right, it just doesn't feel good to me. All right, I don't mind a little bit of the jungle. All right, but I kind of like Yeet speak. All right, a little bit. All right, well, I guess Seth too. Huh, because Seth was the cult one, right? So maybe it's Seth that I like, and I just thought Yeet speak was funny. So I like Seth, okay? I also like Sap and Elanulo. All right, those are my three people that I like the most. I'm assuming by the size of the face, that depends on how many people actually live in that area, correct? Potentially. So those are my votes. I like Elanulo a lot because for some reason, the entire nation like bonding together feels nice. All right, for once. for once, can we get there? So I like whatever the hell they're planning. It seems like they're giving everybody their creative space. They're just working together. Huge fan of that. All right, Seth working as a cult. All right, I think it'd be a very interesting civilization idea. Okay, I think that's fun. And it's Sparta. That would have been the idea that I would have done. You know, so I think that's overall my three interests. Sap, Seth, Elanulo.
Very soon. And that conflict was Plains. At the beginning of day 4, a propagandist told everyone that Sidefall was about to attack the Plains Island.
I could totally imagine people just starting shit in this. Like imagine you're a group of like 2 people and you're like, let's not like stay in one place. Let's just build a boat and let's just go around screaming, oh my God, they're gonna attack. And then just like kind of stress people out, you know, get people on edge and then just kind of just rotate. And it's just like constantly telling people they're gonna be in danger. And then like I would collect armor or like something to like just like make them think that someone else is like instigating in a way. Could be very entertaining.
Horus Crown called a code red and everyone on Plains was freaking out, including these guys at the center of the Plains Island who built a tavern on a lake.
Oh,
I spoke with the bartender.
Welcome to the tavern. I hope you can enjoy a nice beer since it might be our last.
Fair.
So at this point, you're probably wondering, what was Sidefall actually doing?
Okay.
Well, it turns out Sidefall was just as confused as everyone else since he had no plans to attack anyone. The propagandist had lied.
I have no clue what you guys are talking about. I don't want to attack anyone. I don't want a civil war.
You were framed. I can't believe it. So now, both sides were gearing up for a war over nothing but a miscommunication. And all throughout, Sidefall was desperately trying to reach out to the other Plains leaders saying that he didn't want war. The other leaders doubted him, but
I would have been fucking stressing. I'm like, all right, guys, how about for just a little bit, you guys just hide and prepare yourselves just in case there's an attack while I'm gone, but I gotta go to this town. And I would go to the town like, hey, someone's spreading some shit. I never did this, all right? I don't know how to, like, you know, make you guys believe me, but overall, we're just kind of doing this shit over there. All right, don't mind us. You can come take a look if you'd like, all right? I'll give you a little tour. I'll let you talk to some people. You know, something like you gotta communicate. You gotta communicate.
He actually agreed to meet with him as long as they met on neutral ground.
Okay.
Whoever told you guys I want war is lying.
Tell us the truth then.
While they talked, Horus Crown secretly had undercover spies search Sidefall's entire village, but he wasn't aware Sidefall had someone else place a bunch of TNT under his village. But before things went too far...
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Folks, we have a peace deal.
Okay. I was gonna say, I'm like, is this about to be a fucking Game of Thrones explosion right here with all the leaders in this one? That would have been crazy. Oh my, if I was in one of the towns and I had some buddies, I'm like, let's take out the fucking leaders or some shit. Yeah, I could see myself going a bunch of different routes with this thing, man, because that would have been a crazy plot point.
By the thinnest of margins, crisis was averted. After talking, the leaders had made a peace treaty. I actually didn't get to see much of the meeting, but here's essentially what happened. Sidefall first apologized to the other Plains leaders for not being open with them, specifically about his relationship with the Snow Island. He told them he had only reached out to Snow in hopes to get on the good side of a player named A Freakin' Turkey, who was apparently Alanulo's second in command. The Plains leaders discussed their disagreements on foreign relations, Horus Crown preferring keeping alliances within Plains, and Sidefall believing in making allies on other islands. But they were able to put their differences aside. They banished the propagandist from the Plains Island. And that's the end.
You just banished? That's it? Because he might leak some information, dude. You're just gonna let that guy live? Oh my, I would have took him out. No, you do not. That dude is just gonna be causing mischief everywhere. There's no way, dude. I would have just executed him immediately.
The 4 major Plains nations created a Great Plains Alliance. The Plains Island went from being on the brink of war to being the most united island of all.
Drinks are on us.
And it wasn't just Plains. Toward the end of the day, all 4 islands were prospering. From the people on Snow collecting resources and building together, to the people in the desert working on the Sultan's build project, which was to create a massive holy city. Even the jungle was at peace at the end of day 4, since the remaining jungle people were just thankful that they were still alive.
That's fair.
Soon, though, it was the next day. But before we let people back onto the server, the admins and I decided to add a little something.
What? Okay.
We added a 5th island in the center of the world, and we didn't tell the players that we did this. We wanted to see who would discover the island, how long it would take to find, and then what would happen next. So we started up the server.
Well, the question is, what exactly is on this island? All right, because it looks like it's a bunch of bullshit at first. But I don't know if that's in the center or not, but it looks like there's some kind of well or mining facility or whatever it may be in there. which would be crazy. So I don't know if some people are going to just try to build their own civilization over here, or if a civilization is going to take control over this.
And the wait began.
Interesting.
But meanwhile, we have to talk about the Snow Island.
Okay. Why?
Hello, Turkey.
Hello, Itch. How's it going?
On day 5, the player A Freakin' Turkey finally gave me a full explanation of the mysterious Snow Empire, which I found out was named the Aculon Empire.
I think this is cute. You know, I feel like I would love to also be like the interviewer, you know, because like, I don't think players are going to necessarily lie to you, because your like purpose, your goal is to kind of tell the story, you know, and it's not like you're going to go around and tell everybody else. It's like, here, this is what we got planned, dude. Let me show you around a little bit. You know, I think that'd be pretty cool too.
Still fearing for his safety, the Empire's founder, Olanulo, gave orders entirely from his secret underground bunker, while his second in command, A Freakin' Turkey, carried out his orders and led the people on the ground.
Sure.
You guys have settlements across the entire island.
There is a lot. Just know none of it was made by slaves.
The Empire relied on strict order to maintain peace. It's now 200 citizens were each assigned a daily job like building, mining, or fighting. And whenever they were online, all citizens were required to be in 2 Discord voice channels at once, which I didn't even know was possible. Also, the Aculon Empire made it a point to document everything, including its list of members, its hierarchies, its physical landmarks. But what I found most impressive was the high-level operation going on in this seemingly regular building.
This singular building is the richest place in the entire server.
They called this the Quartermaster's House, and it was where the Aculon Empire not only collected and stored all its resources, but also distributed items using a complex request system, where, for example, a citizen asks for iron ingots, and then the Quartermasters decide exactly how much iron that citizen deserves, based on a detailed algorithm they developed.
What the fuck, bro? All right. Hortador? Okay. Time, date, quartermaster, client MC name, okay. Nature of transaction, deposit or withdrawal, okay. Interesting. So I'm assuming with however much you log, you know, because we see Faragu depositing a bit, and the more you actually put into said quartermaster area, the more you can retrieve. You know, it's a give and take situation. So if you bring over 126 cobble deep slate stairs, you could probably withdraw more than someone that has not deposited as much, you know, which I think is a pretty solid system. Very interesting. The only thing is, I hope this place is decently guarded, because one attack on this bitch, they would just take what they want and light that shit on fire, and that would be horrible.
Has anyone tried breaking into this place?
Not yet. Let's just say, if you tried to get in without permission, you're not gonna get a very nice welcome.
And I kid you not, just a few minutes later, this player, Xelius, was caught trying to sneak his way in. And he was sentenced to a public execution to be held the next day. Things are kind of strict around here, huh?
As long as they don't take away my squid, I'm a happy man. Oh man, look at him.
The Snow Island continued to be hyper-vigilant about criminals, but so were other nations, like the Desert Sultanate, which made an inescapable prison. He is surrounded by lava. Or Assassination in the jungle, which made a giant sand trap. Oh, this is crazy. Evil.
Just you wait until we have a nice little deliberation with something.
Yeah, I'm gonna be put to death, you know. Like
even planes didn't feel exactly safe, as this self-described capitalist nation made a giant wall to protect its people.
We want to make sure that communists cannot take this away from us.
That does not seem great at all, to me at least. All right, you're in a big bowl. All right, one thing of lava. You guys are soup.
But as I was talking to these guys, I got tipped off from someone in the desert that something big was about to happen. The Sultanate army's on the move.
Oh my god. Yeah.
The Sultanate sent his elite squad on a secret nighttime mission. Their goal? To find a group of people that had been rumored to want to assassinate the Sultan. They're at the north side of the island now.
Rumors are fucked, right? That's crazy to me. Rumors are fucked. And that's what I'm like, that it could crumble a nation potentially.
So yeah, okay, this is our target.
Okay, let's go.
According to the Sultan, the people.
But imagine having like a little team of assassins, like a specialty team of 10, like dipping into some areas and like be like killing like a few people at a time, like assassin them in the night and then go to another town, do the same thing, like going around and you know, just slowly thinning the numbers. And that's their job, is they, you know, at night they do a little rotation, wait a few days, do another little rotation, and just slowly weave out the people. That could be a method.
People hiding in this little settlement were indeed the attempted assassins, and now the group had a decision to make.
Oh, we're gonna kill this guy.
Do we kill this guy?
Up until now, there hadn't been any violence between desert nations. Will this be the breaking point?
Oh no.
We are showing the desert that if you make plans to kill me, justice will come for you.
The Sultan's elite squad spent the rest of the night raiding the settlement, but during their chase of another suspected assassin, they ran literally into a major dilemma.
We know he's running to Theria.
The guy they were trying to kill was running toward the democratic nation of Theria to get asylum there. The Sultanate is really about to roll up on Theria. Holy,
oh my
because
God.
of major conflict?
Yeah.
But the Sultanate's army didn't care. They barged into Theria and searched every single house to find this one person who ultimately ended up getting away. Meanwhile,
really? They looked like they were like 10 feet behind that bitch. Oh my God. Are there no horses? Does no one get horses around here, or like a boat? Well, I guess there's no boat that you can take in there, but like I would have told Sap, if there was like a leader of that little squad that went around, I would be like, hey, can I speak to your leader? There's a dude that's living in here that goes by the name of this. He's causing problems, whatever it is. Just keep your eye out for it. The Sultan wants him dead because he's trying to assassinate people. So, and that's the action I would have taken.
Theria were freaked out by the raid, but when they looked to their leader Saps for guidance, he was nowhere to be seen. He had fled.
He had fled?
Eventually, the Sultanate's army left, but Theria was not going to forget this.
Well, they didn't like ransack the place. They just kind of looked around. Oh my God, 40? It's a beautiful shot. What?
By attempting to blow up the quartermaster's house, Zelius betrayed our people. And for this, he must die. Glory to Aculon.
The little, was it stalactite?
It was a busy day for a freaking turkey. The execution was successful.
Very cool.
But the Empire didn't yet have a written constitution or a justice system. So a freaking turkey met with a player who claimed to be a lawyer to set up a legal system.
You get
This is the most realistic face on a Minecraft character I've ever seen, and it freaks me out a little bit. I feel like if everybody's like fine with how the leadership has been going, I would just leave it up to the, you know, to them and be like, hey, well, how do we deal with this kind of situation? Be like, all right, well, let's talk with the leaders and see what we want to come up with. You know, because as long as you can keep people prisoner, you can have that kind of system in place.
A smaller seat, unfortunately, but do know it is quite important as well.
I'm used to cramming into tight spaces.
Afterward, a freaking turkey took his guard to Drew and confronted some farmers who he claimed weren't producing enough food for the Empire.
Really? I swear I will not miss any payment I have to owe you.
Drew, the bow, please. I expect 5 stacks of bread delivered within 1 to 2 business days.
Even though he was a little tyrannical at times, a freaking turkey was actually becoming very well liked in the Aculon Empire because he got things done and he was a charismatic speaker.
Okay.
Fellow citizens, it is my distinct honor to pronounce Steve and Pixel as husband and wife.
Okay.
See, even though he was only the second in command of the Snow's Aculon Empire, many people...
What the fuck was that? You didn't have to show me that shit. Is that marriage? Is that how that works? There's a trap door afterwards? You just get to business?
We're starting to view a freaking turkey as a better candidate for leader than Alanulo, since most people in the Empire had never even seen Alanulo, given that he's been hiding underground the entire time, afraid of being assassinated. In fact, some of his own citizens weren't even sure he existed. While Alanulo ruled from afar, only talking with high-ranking officials, a freaking turkey was considered a man of the people. So
okay, that can get a little tricky, so it really depends on the relationship between a freaking turkey and a Lanulo. All right, I understand that they want a face for it, but like, it just depends on their friendship and the relationship. You know, because like, if it was me and my boy, all right, and if I was in a turkey's position, I don't think I would betray my friend. You know, if I'm like, hey, this is the system we got in place, you know, and it's working out pretty well. I think I want to keep this going. Like, I don't have, if I'm in that position and I'm comfortable where I don't have the desire for power, I have the desire for order and structure. You know what I mean? And if everything's going great, I'm like, hey, guys, he exists. I talk to him all the time. He's the one that also pulls the strings and is working with a lot of other shit. All right, I'm just the guy that comes and talks to you and makes sure making sure everything is okay. And that's kind of that's how I would do it. But let's see how the freaking turkey does it.
Someone who talks to everyone. In fact, a freaking turkey had gained so much notoriety that leaders of other nations were starting to reach out to him for alliances rather than to Alanulo. So as a result of all of this, Alanulo was starting to get a little worried.
Turkey knows that I created this empire and its entire political system, and as long as I am alive, I will be its only ruler.
Okay, Alanulo. All right. Let me say, I didn't like that. All right, Matables disliked that. I would just been like, I'm grateful for the work he's doing. All right, I appreciate him. I hope that we can continue to, work together and, keep this going at the rate that it has been. You have to give him the respect he deserves because he's obviously doing really good work out there. But I'm like, as long as he knows that I'm in charge, I'm like, okay, all right. If you were a little bit humbler, I feel like this would go well. But if this is how you act, I wouldn't respect that. Alanulo. Am I team a freaking turkey now? Huh?
That's very funny.
Our monkey religion, we hold fast to.
Also, how do they not have like a tree city, like a tree fort city? Come on, that'd be so sick.
Here on the Jungle Island, things haven't slowed down one bit. Amidst the chaos, this small group had made a monkey religion, and their goal was to build the biggest tree in the entire world.
Very cool.
We're so industrious.
While everyone else is fighting and killing each other, we are peacefully building.
By now, every tribe in the jungle seemed to have its own goal. These guys, building a tree.
I like
this group, called the Blue Cross, provided food and shelter to refugees. Meanwhile, WASNT's goal, which was still to take over the world, was seemingly driving him mad, especially after the librarians built a second tower.
Hey, at least it looked... What is their problem? Okay, I was just about to compliment them. I would be so annoyed. I'm like, okay, at least it looks a little bit better here, unless that's how it looked to begin with. But then
built a second.
What are you doing? It's in his city, and he doesn't like this. What are you doing here? This is just disrespectful.
Tower. You did this out of spite, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, no. Well, yeah.
Overall, it seemed like there was a lot on Wazik's mind, as if he was planning something big. Meanwhile, Seth and the Sea People were still the two biggest tribes in the jungle.
Sea People would be sick. All right, I think Yeatspeak's supposed to be like of the river town, right? But if there was a civilization that started working underwater and then no one would realize it because they were like underground under the ocean bed, they would be able to spring up and take resources from wherever they are. That would all... There's a lot of interesting concepts, dude. That would be very cool. We're already 40 minutes into this shit and we're only 20 minutes into this shit. So this is going to be quite a long video. So I hope you guys, if you enjoy it and you like the way that I react to things, consider watching some of my other shit. All right, consider coming over to the Twitch or watching my gaming videos. All right, I like making content. This shit's fun to me. All right, I have a great time doing it. So I hope you guys enjoy it as well.
And both pursued very innovative political strategies. For example, Seth got married, but only so he could parade around the jungle and demand wedding gifts from everyone. And you know what? It freaking worked. The Sea People, on the other hand, had taken on a massive goal, which was to finally end the chaos in the jungle. And they did this by sending out stealth groups and hunting down thieves, murderers, and anyone who they claimed did wrong. However, some of the supposed wrongdoers they killed were actually allies of Seth. In response, Seth demanded that the Sea People stop their initiative immediately, but the Sea People planned to continue. All of a sudden, the jungle island was on the verge of a massive war, as if there wasn't enough chaos already.
Interesting. Oh, we still haven't seen what was in the center island yet.
Wait, is someone actually here?
I think so.
Okay.
Whoa.
Perfect timing.
Crazy. This is awesome.
What format are you playing on? Are you playing on the fucking iPad?
I think so.
Whoa. This is crazy. This is awesome.
Wild to me.
On day 7, a player named the Pokemonkey discovered the secret 5th island. The island had a mysterious dead terrain, a small pre-built village in the center, and underground, it contained netherite, which is the strongest and rarest resource in the world.
Interesting.
Now, Pokemonkey was a part of Sidefall's nation in Plains, and he quickly alerted Sidefall about the very strange and unexpected discovery he'd just made. He's taking the blue lantern so people believe him. Guys, I'm not lying, there really is an island! 2 minutes later, another person found the center island. This time, someone from the jungle. Then, like a domino effect, more and more people started arriving, typically either alone or in small groups, like these guys from the...
You really can't do alone unless it's really just a scouting mission. Like I would feel comfortable going down there with like 5 people just for like defense, just in case, you know what I mean? Because like if I saw that, I'm like, I'm not going back with just this lantern. All right, I gotta go down there and see what the fuck is down there, and then I'll take that shit back.
Desert. Even though they all came from different islands and nations, nobody was fighting. In fact, they seemed to be forming friendships and simply admiring this new mysterious place, saying this is amazing. Quickly, word began spreading across the world that there was a 5th island, and about 30 minutes into day 7, basically everyone knew. It was crazy how fast everyone found out. Now, some nations were hesitant about visiting, believing that the island was some sort of trap, while other nations like the Aculon Empire sent out large exploratory groups to investigate the island. So Aculon is here, but instead of mining for netherite, they're taking the wool from the tents. Oh, they don't have sheep in the snow island.
Oh, that's
that
fair.
Makes sense.
Didn't even think
Something
about that
I
either.
found interesting was that no nation, not even the Snow Empire, had the courage to publicly claim the center island as part of their nation, as their territory.
Right.
Probably because it would result in conflict with other nations, which was my secret intention when adding the island, that it would cause some type of war.
Fair.
But it didn't cause a war. Or maybe just not yet.
I mean, it's kind of interesting that you can like trickle in shit like that. You know, because like you can easily, you know, make it so one of the locations has some kind of thing, like problem that is just all of a sudden, like if the jungle like was just on fire, like the entire jungle island was all on fire, what would the civilizations do? Would they all try to prevent the fire? Would they move and, you know, try to save whatever they can? Would they go somewhere else? Would they think it's an attack? Like you could trickle in these little ideas and just see what, like, that's just the fun part, is like, how would people react? And that's kind of the entire base of this video, is like, you just throw 1,000 people in here, what will they do? You know, it's just like watching like it's like there's some games that are like it, but it's like almost like a city sim. And it's like, all right, exist and I'll be God.
Meanwhile, I present to you the story of Los Pollos Hermanos.
Oh, we're doing this shit still?
Wow, you've really expanded your business.
Yeah, we're doing quite well.
Because starvation was such a big problem in the desert, Drip Chicken had made it his life's mission to feed the people of the desert. And ever since I spoke with him on day 2 next to his little food stand, Los Pollos Hermanos had become a staple of the Sultanate. But this business would soon run into some problems.
Because?
See, on days 4 and 5, the Sultan storming hell was unsatisfied with the slow progress on his build project, the Holy City. So he demanded that the farmers of the Sultanate stop growing food and instead work on his build project.
No. Bad plan. Bad plan. You want them to stop working on food to build your religion? No way. Like, yeah, it's a fun passive project to work on, just something nice, but no way, dude. That is irresponsible and selfish.
And just like that, the food supply going into Los Pollos Hermanos had completely stopped.
They did it? I guess they would listen to him, but oh my god, I'd be like, that's... Do they have to stay in these areas? Like, can they just like migrate to a different city, or do they have to? I would be very upset. I'd be like, I'm moving. You know, I'm going to my boy Sap's place, wherever the fuck he is.
The restaurant suddenly had no food available to sell.
Oh man. That
Having
sucks.
no food, Drip Chicken was instead forced to sell some questionable products. And if he was caught selling these products by either the Sultan or the Sultan's twin guards, he would probably receive a life sentence in the Sultanate prison. Meanwhile, the farmers of the Sultanate were unhappy since they wanted to farm, not be forced to build. So in a rebellious move on day 5, Drip Chicken and the farmers secretly set up a meeting with Saps, the leader of Theria.
Yeah.
I know you want to move to Theria, but if you do, the Sultan will send his elite squad to hunt you down.
So, what do we do?
Go to plains or something. There's about to be chaos in the desert.
And Saps was correct.
That's crazy.
There was about...
I mean, good for him for knowing to hold, like, the peace, but, like, it's only going to hold for so long if this is the way he feels about it. Because he's like, my project's still not going up fast enough, all right? All my farmers left. Sap, you're going to have to come over here and help me. And it's going to start causing a fucking problem.
To be chaos in the desert for reasons he couldn't tell the farmers just yet, but he did tell me.
You know who Davert is?
Yeah, I think so. He's one of the twin guards, right?
Okay. He's about to leave the Sultanate and join me.
Really? The two people the Sultan trusts the most are his two twin guards, the brothers Davert and Zamta.
I can't believe they... I mean, how the fuck would you not see that coming, all right? The Pollos Hermanos guy, you know, the Breaking Bad guy has the twins as the other guys. Like, they're gonna stick with the Pollos Hermanos guy. I feel like this was a plan from the beginning.
One of them had grown tired of the authoritarian and warmongering ways of the Sultan, so Davert had reached out to the leader of Theria, and together they created the single craziest plan I have ever heard, and this was it. First, Davert leaves the Sultanate to join Theria. Next, the Sultan finds out about the betrayal and sends his elite squad to kill Davert. Then, when the elite squad is away hunting for Davert, and the Sultan is therefore alone, Davert will sneak back into the Sultanate and kill the Sultan.
Crazy. Why wouldn't the Sultan be wearing armor? I mean, you want to look nice, I get it, but like, death, bro, death.
Davert will then claim leadership over the Sultanate, and as the new leader, he will finally bring peace to the desert. Davert, there is no way this works.
Brother, grow some chest hair. Trust me, it'll work, alright?
So, at the end of day 7, Davert snuck out of the Sultanate and headed to Theria to begin the operation, while Drip Chicken and the farm...
Well, yeah, but what happened to the twin brother? Is he gonna have to fight his twin brother, or is his twin brother, like, down with this shit?
Fled to the Plains Island. On their way out, some of them took one final look back at their home, at their restaurant, knowing that they would probably never see it again, knowing that the story of Los Pollos Hermanos had come to an end.
That is wild. I'm going to take a quick break here. I mean, it's gonna be a second for you guys, but I need to, you know, digest this in parts because obviously we've almost been recording for an hour, and it's only been a portion of the actual video. So I'll be right back. And we're back. Props to this dude for making, because I think there's a whole playlist of content that's just like this. This has to be crazy with the organization and the editing, and just post-production's gotta be absolutely nuts. Like, I'm sure it's like almost like, it seems like a week's worth of recording, which, you know, is not that bad, but the post, I can't fathom it. Day 8. We're still got a lot of people.
On day 8, there was a major event on the Snow Island. For the first time ever, Emperor Olanulo had come out from his underground bunker. He had...
Dude had to. He was getting real nervous, wasn't he, Elanulo? Gotta treat your people better too, all right? It's cool. It's cool at first. It's like, oh, we got a hidden person like running our country. But at some point, you're like, yeah, but I like this turkey guy. Yeah, everybody's starting to like the turkey guy. Elanulo's like, all right, okay, all right. I see what you're getting at.
Summoned the entire Snow Islands to the Aculon Castle so he could publicly be crowned as the leader. Before the coronation, all high-ranking officials were required to provide Elanulo a gift.
I present to you a high-quality pair of premium brand sneakers.
Thank you, Applewood.
I, Baron Saul Goodman, give you this present.
You're Saul Goodman? That's what you are? That's wild to me. Also, the gifts, I hope it's just like a bit, right? I hope it's just like, you know, it's like, oh, let's just do a cute little thing just to like, you know, bond a little bit instead of like, I deserve gifts. Because I'm like, okay, well, Elanulo, are you psychopathic or are you being a little cheeky? All right?
Lord Elanulo, my presence is your present.
After the gifts, Elanulo asked his second-in-command, A Freakin' Turkey, to make a speech affirming Elanulo's undisputed leadership.
Okay.
My friends, the Aculon Empire is the strongest nation in the world. Not because of one leader, but because of all of us.
Thank you, Turkey.
At the end of the ceremony, Elanulo asked all of his citizens to follow him out of the castle, down the main path of the Empire, in a symbolic move meant to showcase the unity of the Snow Island.
Right. I would love to learn about who gets what armor first. All right. Obviously, I'm sure the leaders of the groups, but there's still a decent amount of people, so I don't know if there's like quite a list of the people that end up getting it over other people, you know, of like who's in charge of who's in charge of who's in charge of who's in charge, and then it just goes down like that, or if it's based off of something else. But like, there's a lot of people with just armor, like iron armor and that shit.
But this image of unity was only a mirage. There was a lot of discontent building within the Empire for many reasons. People didn't like that Elanulo's knights were constantly bossing them around, nor did the Aculon builders like it when Elanulo forced them to work on the Aculon Castle instead of letting them finish their own projects. There was this general sense that Elanulo might be overreaching with his power.
Yeah, you can't overreach with your power. All right, I've learned about it firsthand. You can't abuse your power, I guess. It's just like, this is already the second instance of like, why are you guys not building the shit that I want? You know what I mean? And then you just come off as bratty. Build your own shit. You know, even if it's not great at first, you know, at least show people that you're willing to work and stuff, just hiding in a goddamn hole, you know, which takes like what, like not even an hour's worth of effort. You know, show the people that you're also willing to put in the time and effort into this shit, because that's what they want.
Especially when he started spying on his own citizens to see who was criticizing his leadership. See, Elanulo believed that in order for his citizens to have a good life, they have to live in a strong nation, and the only way to maintain a strong nation was through complete unity under a powerful and unchallenged leader. This is why Elanulo was fearful about the discontent within his nation, as well as the rising popularity of his second-in-command, A Freakin' Turkey. Knowing that they were being spied on, many of A Freakin' Turkey's supporters were becoming scared living on the Snow Island, afraid that they would be executed for not supporting Elanulo's leadership. So, with the help of A Freakin' Turkey, plus another high-ranking official, its Ender, some Aculon citizens organized secret evacuations out of the Snow Island.
That is wild. Like, just imagine it, like, if you're like Elanulo and you're like, yeah, I guess he wouldn't be randomly mining because he's, you know, a princess bitch. But like, imagine just like you discover, you know, a path of sorts to escort people out of the area. You know what I mean? In case of an emergency. You know what I mean?
underground tunnels, some of which led to Seth's nation in the jungle, others going to Sidefall's nation in plains. Both Seth and Sidefall were very open to accepting refugees, especially those who opposed Olanulo, someone who they believed to be a dangerous tyrant. Also, they had just found out that Olanulo had actually sent spies all across the world, including into their own nations, so they didn't like him very much.
We're not going back until there's some form of democracy in Snow.
I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon.
Meanwhile in Plains, Mr. Turkey, are you starting a revolution?
No, I do not want a revolution. I just want to make sure Olanulo doesn't kill these people.
When are you going back to the Snow Island?
Probably.
See, I mean, I'm kind of down for a freaking turkey, dude. All right, I'm kind of into it. I think like it seems like he is a solid dude and he really cares for the citizens. So I can kind of imagine it dethroning, at this point. It really depends on the relationship between the two. But like also I wouldn't want like one of my friends to be acting like that either. So it's going to get a little sketchy in here.
Tomorrow, because I'm gonna try and host a meeting with Olanulo. I just think he's gone too far.
So while a freaking turkey stayed on the Plains Island for the rest of the day, Seth and Sidefall created the first ever multi-island treaty. This treaty not only established Seth and Sidefall as allies, but it also declared their nations refugee states, ones that are willing to accept all people fleeing from dictatorial regimes like the Sultanate or the Akulon Empire. As for a freaking Turkey's position in the Akulon Empire, he was still technically the second in command, but it was only a matter of time before Olanulo finds out about the missing citizens, and then it's very likely that Turkey will be stripped of his position or be kicked out of the Snow Island entirely and become a refugee himself.
Okay, I meant to pause it and I stopped the recording. My bad.
Yeah, I don't know if... Wait, is that a basketball court? On day 8, the center island was getting a lot of visits from curious players, and instead of fighting each other, everyone was just kind of hanging out and doing their own thing.
TP to me, look at this.
What is this? Don't question me. Later that night, some adventurer started terraforming the dead terrain, making it green.
Okay.
This actually looks not bad. These guys, meanwhile, made a secret underground church, and they hosted many ceremonies and cultural events. What type of ritual is this? Now, I actually attended 2 churches on day 8, the second one in Sidefall's nation, although I was very disturbed by the person sitting next to me.
It would have been wild if that was like another like cult church, except it gathered people from everywhere for the betterment of the entire world, And it was like a sub country in a way, because it was just like whoever wanted to be a part of this. But I mean, that would also get a little spicy too, because like everybody, I'm just saying it'd be kind of cool.
After a near-death experience, life began to feel more sacred, only due in part to the wonders they hold. I cannot say what they are, however, right way to lead this world.
Whoa, what did I do?
They're taking him away. Oh no. Later that night, the Plains Island received an unexpected visit from the Akulon Empire's state-sponsored journalist. I'm with the news. Down with the news. Go away, tabloids. Go away. No false news today. They're kicking out the journalists. Oh my god. Meanwhile, I ran into these Plains farmers who literally did nothing but plant wheat everywhere.
Holy, now we're fucking talking. That is wild. Huh. I wonder. All right, stay with me here. I don't know how much processing power it would take if you like did a waterfall and cleansed all the wheat, but it would be something to make people crash their computers with. Have you ever seen those Minecraft explosion simulations shit? Like imagine just building so much C4 to the point where you make people crash and then you do something once their computer's like destroyed. It would be just, you know what I mean? Like you use that time to, do what you have to do. It could be fun.
Look at all this freaking wheat.
That's a lot
Now,
of
right
wheat,
next
though.
to the wheat field was a cookie factory in Horus Crown's nation, which took the wheat and made a variety of baked goods.
Okay,
See,
cute.
ever since the Great Plains Alliance was signed on day 4, the people of Plains believed their island to be, for the most part, a very safe place to live. And as a result, many players felt secure enough to run their own businesses. There was the bakery, an Outback Steakhouse, boating and kayaking, 2 KFCs, and there was the most recent addition, Los Pollos Hermanos. You made one in the Plains biome?
Yes.
That's funny.
Expansion.
Claiming refugee status, Drip Chicken and the Sultanate farmers received citizenship inside Falls Nation, where they were able to rebuild their famous restaurant, and the people of Plains welcomed the refugees with open arms.
Yeah, but it can't just be that. You know what I mean? Like, the whole point of Los Pollos Hermanos is to, like, have your fucking whole underground situation. Right? So, does Drip Chicken have a deeper plan, or is it really just to run a chicken joint? You know what I mean? Because I'm kind of curious on, like, what other side hustles they got going on.
The only person who wasn't happy was the owner of KFC, who now had competition. Anyway, when word got out in the desert that Drip Chicken and the farmers had fled the Sultanate, as did Davrit, many loyalists in the Sultanate were furious with these betrayals. While the Sultanate was still the second most powerful nation in the world, the first being Akulon, these betrayals of the Sultanate hurt the Sultan's public image, and he feared being seen as weak by the world and by his own people. So predictably, the Sultan sent his elite squad out into the desert to try to find and kill both Davrit and Drip Chicken.
Jesus.
But instead of staying home in the Sultanate, this time the Sultan traveled with his elite squad. This threw a wrench into Davrit's assassination plan, and Davrit had no choice but to keep hiding underground until he saw an opportunity to strike.
That's crazy. That's so crazy. This dude is fucking hiding out. Look at, he's even got like a block between like where the pathing was and like where he is currently. I'm sure he has to use like maybe like gravel instead of like cobblestone, so you don't know that it's placed or whatever, however the fuck that shit works. But this dude is hiding. Wild.
Meanwhile, the leader of Theria, Saps, was extremely worried because he knew that the fate of his nation and his people rested on this assassination attempt. If it succeeds and the Sultan is killed, well, then all is well. But if it fails, it will only be a matter of time before the Sultan finds out that Saps was behind the plan, and then there is no doubt that the Sultan will seek revenge and absolutely obliterate Theria, killing not just Saps, but all his people who, by the way, were entirely innocent. Saps,
come on, I want a Game of Thrones meeting so bad. You know, I want like something like, I want some kind of massive betrayal event. You know, where you have people sit in seats and then the lava just comes down above them and just fucking crisps them or some shit like that. You know what I mean? It could be. I'm telling. That's just the way you have to do shit like this. Sometimes you just gotta erase the idea of like anything logical, and you just got to do something fucking nuts that puts your name on the goddamn map and makes you a threat. You know, you need your own red wedding. It would be the red waterfall, I guess. I don't really know.
Purposefully didn't tell any of his citizens that he was involved in an assassination plot because they definitely wouldn't approve of something that puts them in such danger. All of this tension in the desert was really starting to get to some people, like this group, which made a giant lava wall around their civilization. They wanted nothing to do with the politics of the desert, and they were rather paranoid about everything.
The walls keep us safe. We can't leave the walls for long because then we're not safe.
Yeah, but that's not really, like, it looks intimidating, but there's a lot of solutions to get through that. You know, you can go under it. You can go above it. You could still technically go through it. You can make a little tunnel to just go, you know, like, I don't think it's as safe as you guys think it is.
When inside the walls is safe, everyone outside is not safe. They're strangers. We shouldn't trust them. Oh, by the way, also don't push any buttons you find in here.
Okay. I actually think this group was more of a cult than a civilization, but still, I think they had the right idea. And now we go back to the Jungle War.
The jungle is an absolute shit show. Every time we come here, I could never expected anything to actually happen.
I say war because both major nations had already basically decided that they cannot coexist in the jungle.
Okay.
Seth was mad at the Sea People for killing many of his allies, while the Sea People were mad because Seth wouldn't let them kill those who they believed to be criminals. Okay. Neither nation was willing to compromise on this, so war seemed inevitable. However, because Seth had also recently formed an alliance with Sidefall from Plains, a war between the two jungle nations would likely cause Sidefall, as well as the rest of the Plains Island, to join the battle, thus turning this into an actual world war. So, given that—
How did you make a 7-Eleven sign? What the fuck?
The stakes were so much higher now, both sides agreed to have one final meeting to maybe work things out. It was WASNT who quickly offered his nation as a good neutral location for the meeting, and he was quite enthusiastic about hosting. On day 8, Seth and the Sea People sent their highest ranking officials to WASNT's nation, where the meeting would take place.
Alright, Seth, you're up first.
I think the Sea People are killing people for a lot of irrational reasons. So, you know, as an example, right? They had 5 stacks of cookies taken from them. That takes like 3 minutes to get, bro. And he's like, I don't think you should murder someone over that.
We requested he give it back, and he basically said no, so he was put on KOS and we killed him.
So that was exactly what Seth just said.
Let me add some context.
Soon, the argument began to escalate.
And the people you attacked were direct allies.
I'm sorry, but what other ways do we have to stop the chaos in the jungle?
They stole. They didn't deserve to be killed over it.
Do you really want to go to war over this?
Well, if you keep killing our people, then we won't just stand by and watch.
All right, fine. The Sea People declare war.
All right, let's do it.
But before a fight could begin, WASNT yelled,
"Double, no!"
Fucking exactly what I wanted. I couldn't have said perfect timing to my red waterfall idea. This is a lot more, is a lot less, well, I guess it's still very intricate, you know. I guess they want, this is like probably the best way to do it, is to have a giant trapfall, like trap and whatever it is, because my idea probably would have taken way too like long to figure out how to do it perfectly and how to, you know, not to, you know, make people think that you're gonna kill them, of course. But this is just like, all right, everybody in that area, you're gone. That's wild to me. I'm glad this happened though. That's crazy. But also stealing, like, all right, I kind of see both sides, because stealing a cookie, I'm like, yeah, I'm like, it's just a cookie. But also if there's, he's like, give me the cookie back, and you're like, no. And you're like, okay, so you're just causing problems and you don't want your repercussions over it. Like, you're just here to be a piece of shit, you know? Yes, it's just a cookie, but also you're doing it maliciously. So what else will you do maliciously?
Oh my god.
Go, 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 go!
WASNT had just killed 7 people using his sand trap before getting away. Seth and the Sea People decided to put their war on hold and declared a unified worldwide manhunt for WASNT. Everyone was confused about why WASNT did this, but then I remembered something WASNT had told me the day before.
Listen, if the war breaks out, I have a plan to stop it.
Really? How?
Oh, you'll see, my friend.
When Seth and the Sea People declared war on each other, WASNT decided to use his sand trap and make himself the villain, so that the entire jungle would make peace to unite against him, therefore actually preventing a world war.
It's a pretty good idea. It's a pretty good idea. I want to know exactly who died during that. I mean, I guess they said who exactly, but I mean, I guess we can go back, but like the importance of was it just like a bunch of random, or was there like, I can't remember the names, and I don't feel like going back because I don't know, I don't want to mess up anything, but you know, the importance of the people that you took out could be also pretty nuts.
WASNT is now hiding underground.
Still 760 people. How much time we got left of this? We're 42 minutes into this bitch. Oh my god. All right, so it looks like we got like what, 2 days left? What the fuck is gonna happen? Is it like, when does this end? When there's like peace, or when the whole thing's in pieces? You know what I mean? Like, do we have to run out of the 1,000 players for this video to end? Like, how?
After spending most of the previous day trying to hunt down his enemies, the Sultan storming hell decided to take a break from the hunt and attend a wedding hosted by a small neighboring desert nation.
Okay.
It was a huge honor in the desert for the Sultan to visit your civilization, so there was a lot of buzz surrounding the Sultan's visit, and everyone in the desert knew he would be there. Zamta the twin guard was also at the wedding, and he was quite thankful for the break since he secretly despised having to hunt for his own brother. When the Sultan demanded that Davert be tracked down and killed, Zamta was horrified by this order, but he kept silent, fearing that he'd be next. Zamta could only hope that Davert was far away now, hiding in a place where the Sultan would never find him. But it turned out Davert was not far away at all, because he was on a mission.
Okay.
He's actually here.
What the fuck? We're getting to the juicy shit. We're getting to the juicy shit. That's, what do you have, an assassination planned? And Ezio? We have an assassination plan for that? How? Without killing like a bunch of other people, this is a big event. He's wearing armor and shit. So I don't think he would go down easily unless you're gonna like challenge him or something in front of everybody. But like,
Davert was coming to kill the Sultan, but he had to be sneaky because the Sultan was guarded by his elite team.
Yeah.
The plan was to catch him and his team off guard since it would only take a few hits to kill him. Nervous right now. Did the wedding end? The wedding's over. He's leaving. Oh, he's leaving.
This is poorly timed.
Oh, Davert! Holy crap! Oh! He's hit him so many times! Wait, Storming's getting away? The elite team is on Davert big time! Oh!
This is... What the fuck? What the fuck? Okay.
Oh! Oh, he's getting close! He's getting close! Oh, he turned around? Holy crap! Everyone's here now! This is insane!
That'd be me.
Oh!
He died? No! Not Davert! What are you doing? What are you doing? What the fuck? Did someone fucking say bozo? What the fuck? New President W. New President W? I thought this was a traumatic experience. It seems like everybody else was into this. Holy shit. I wonder, like, again, like with the shots and how to like film, like there had to have been some kind of communication with like, all right, there's going to be an assassination thing, but if it goes wrong, come back to me and I'm going to do a thing and you have to watch me do the thing. You know, I'm just curious on like how that part, because partially it's scripted. Like a lot of this stuff technically is not scripted, but some of the stuff, like they have to get the shots for. That's wild. I can't.
Sultan's on his way back home, I think. What is happening?
Damn. I was gonna fucking say if my twin brother was like attacking him, I would lock eyes the second he hit him, and we'd hit him at the same time, you know, because then the brothers could have ran away together or some shit like that. I'm like, why didn't you intervene sooner?
What?
But then the but Sap already killed himself. So are you telling me the second Sap saw the other dude die from the assassination attempt that was failed, it was a failed assassination attempt and he died in the process, he's like, all right, well, plan's over, everything's ruined, and he just fucking jumped. And if he would have waited like at least a few minutes later, he would have seen that it actually was successful. That's crazy. That's crazy. Sap, you had to, why didn't you just do it sooner? I mean, not sooner, but later. Like, why wouldn't you just wait until, like, they're, like, coming at your door if that's what you're nervous about? I don't know why you did it, but, like... Fuck.
Oh, boy. Angry about the death of his brother Davrit, Zamta betrayed and killed the Sultan, storming hell in what he called an act of revenge. All of a sudden, within the span of a few minutes, storming hell, Saps, and Davrit were all dead.
Yeah, that's
Both
fair,
the
actually.
Sultanate and Theria were without a leader, and the desert island was in a state of total confusion.
Wild.
Now, because the Sultanate didn't have a solid line of succession, there was a short power struggle that ended with the Sultanate getting completely dissolved. On day 9, the second most powerful nation in the world had fallen, and most of the Sultanate's citizens ended up fleeing. That being said, it wasn't totally the end. Some who were still loyal to the late Sultan decided to form their own militias, whose only goal was to track down Zamta and avenge the Sultan.
We are called by our divine leader to kill the dirty traitor. Mashallah.
Theria, on the other hand,
that's probably the best way to do it, to be honest. Like, if like all that shit happened, I'm like, all right, guys, like, obviously, a lot of the shit is gonna be a little messy. For everyone that just wants to continue with like a respectful way of life, let's just get together and go somewhere else, you know, or just take over the city that we have. Like, there's a lot of assets here, and whoever's left here is going to, I don't know. I guess there's no like way to tell what the fuck they'll actually do, but there's a lot of shit here. It's a developed little city. You know what I mean? So they have stuff to use. So at some point, if you don't want the wrong person to be in charge, you have to kind of either step up or have like an arena, or I don't know. So I don't know what the fuck is going to happen to the desert place unless it's just going to turn into like a whole shit show, a Mad Max, if you will.
Didn't dissolve and instead elected a new leader, a player named Jophiel, who was well-liked and trusted in the community.
Okay.
Still, the people of Theria would continue to live in a state of fear, afraid they would be invaded by one of the new desert militias. Also, they would never find out why their founder Saps jumped off the Therian tower, which he did because of guilt. After he saw Davrit die, Saps believed that the Sultan would invade and destroy Theria, and he felt too ashamed.
Yeah, but what if you like saw Sap like running around without like the gear on? You're like, is this dude about to do what I think he's about to do? Like, if you caught on to it quick enough and you just had a bucket of water and just threw it down the second you saw him jump, and then you're like, so what the fuck was that about? Could you imagine?
Knowing that he would be responsible, it was only thanks to Zamta that the invasion didn't happen. The death of the Sultan sent shockwaves throughout not just the desert, but the whole world. Many nations went on lockdown, including the Akulon Empire. While they technically weren't allies, Emperor Olanilo had always admired Sultan Storming Hell's strong authoritarian leadership. So after the lockdown, Olanilo sent his diplomats to the desert to offer support to the Sultanate militias. At the same time, on the Plains Island, Drip Chicken of Los Pollos Hermanos was watching the desert from afar, and he was worried about these rumored desert militias. Because Drip Chicken was from the desert, he was able to educate his customers in Plains about the politics of the desert. After Saps's death, he encouraged Sidefall to send diplomats to Theria quickly, and Sidefall did just that. On day 9, Theria officially...
I wouldn't be surprised if Drip Chicken is playing the long game, you know? Maybe this was kind of the plan all along. Because, like, if he's like, oh, you know what, you probably should do this, and he's like, they're gonna keep like pointing fingers and like, what if we do that? What if we do this? And it's just gonna. I feel like Drip Chicken is putting themselves in a very advantageous position. I feel like being the chicken guy and just being like, hey, everything's fine. You should, like, it's kind of just like just helping people, you know, until you get to a good spot, and then you take out with the person above you, and then you're gonna keep going. You know what I mean? I don't know. I could totally see that being some kind of a plan.
Joined Seth and all the Plains nations in the refugee state contract, and what originally started as a simple refugee agreement between Seth and Sidefall had now turned into a worldwide alliance called the Alliance of Democratic Nations, or put simply, the Allies.
But it's a beautiful place.
As the people of the Aculon Empire continued their daily routines, the highest-ranking officials of the Empire gathered to discuss the new existential dilemma they were now facing. The Aculon Empire had always been the most powerful nation in the world, and it still technically is, but when adding together the populations of all the states in the Democratic Nations Alliance, it is the allies that have more people.
Right. I understand. I understand where you're coming at here. Having that many people in the snow place is fucking crazy to me. It is like, because like, if you think about it, right, there's 1,000 players build a massive civilization in Minecraft, right? That's the whole title of the video. Each country had about 250, right? 4 countries, 1,000, 250. That means the snow place only lost 20 people, and then everywhere else lost so much more. So depending on Alanulo and, you know, their goal of what they want to accomplish, if they just attack a random country, right, and any one of the 3, I would probably say maybe desert, because they're already like kind of like, well, I guess they're already mixed up anyway, so it wouldn't really be that big of a deal. It would be either jungle or plains. Plains seems like a little too much to chew for some reason. I don't know why. It just seems like there's more unity in the plains. So if I was in this situation and I was afraid of like this big alliance, I would take my 230 or basically 220. I don't know how many people you're going to take with you, and just go to probably jungle and erase the people from the jungle. You know, if you want, and you'll probably take what, maybe 50 to 100 people off that list, and then that's already even. You know, that's already even. And if you really wanted, that could just, you just keep going around. You're like, all right, this is the final push, and we're gonna go from the jungle to the desert, and then we'll see how our resources are then, and then we'll go back to our home. Or you just keep going. Because after taking out both of those, that number's gonna dwindle real quickly.
Overall, this made Aculon officials extremely worried. They saw this as the first legitimate threat to the regime. Alanulo agreed with this view, but at the moment, his attention was on another problem entirely, the problem known as A Freakin' Turkey. A Freakin' Turkey's rise to popularity had always bothered Alanulo, but now this conflict was at an absolute breaking point, because yesterday, one of Alanulo's spies caught A Freakin' Turkey helping snow citizens flee the Empire. Fleeing or defecting was strictly against.
Oh my God. He just wants what's best for his people. If there would be happy elsewhere, he wants to get them to that elsewhere. I like A Freakin' Turkey. I'm about that, dude. Man, being caught in that situation though, that's kind of fucked. Oof. Oof, oof, oof.
Aculon law. Alanilo Spy also saw a freaking turkey hanging out with not just Sidefall, but nearly all the major planes leaders, which made Alanilo think, is a freaking turkey planning something? Is he secretly working with the allies? Is he about to orchestrate a full-scale revolution or an invasion of the Aculon Empire?
That'd be nuts.
These were all questions that Alanilo was wrestling with, and the more he thought about it, the more he convinced himself that a freaking turkey was probably committing some sort of treason and needed to be stopped. Yesterday,
to me, it could be. It definitely could be. You know, because if you're worried about your citizens, you got to start making some kind of like connections elsewhere. And you get like, especially if you're bringing your people to this place, you're like, hey, thank you for taking care of them. I appreciate it. We're trying to figure out some shit here. I'll keep you posted. Right. That's kind of like a generic kind of conversation I could see totally happening in this kind of situation. I just, you know, getting caught is huge. I wouldn't be surprised because Alanilo is kind of a bitch sometimes, I guess. At least in my opinion. I'm not getting the whole, you know, whole perspective maybe, but I wouldn't see it past him if it like was a execution kind of thing. And I don't want that. I would be very upset if we lost a freaking turkey.
Freaking Turkey had reached out to Alanilo for a meeting, and today Alanilo accepted this request, but with a few conditions. 1, this meeting takes place at the Aculon Castle. 2, Turkey comes alone. And 3, the meeting takes place not today, but tomorrow, because Alanilo needed some extra time for his builders to finish a certain project located on the top of the Aculon Castle.
No.
Nobody knew why or what the strange-looking tower was, but Alanilo insisted it be completed by the time Turkey shows up.
Tomorrow is certainly going to be interesting, so make sure everyone's ready.
Lastly, later in the day, Alanilo sent diplomats to establish alliances with both the desert militias and with the sea people in the jungle. Alanilo appreciated the sea people's value of order, and he promised that he will help them stop the chaos in the jungle and help them catch their #1 most wanted criminal, Wazak. The sea people accepted this alliance, but they ended up not needing Aculon's help because late into day 9, Wazak decided to turn himself in. He's about to be executed. A guilty conscience, perhaps.
This is wild. This is just so much to process. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, dude. I have no idea how this is gonna end. We have about a day and a half left. I don't know. I have no idea. Like, if one country is supposed to be like there at the end. And then what the fuck is this tower for? What the fuck is the tower for? It's beautiful.
All right, Wazak, I understand you have a prepared statement. You may now read your final words.
Yes, thank you. Hello everyone, it's your old friend Wazok. In the beginning, I wanted to rule the world. But I've made some bad decisions. And now, it's my time to go.
You killed innocents, not making speak.
If there's one thing I've learned, is that time can never be your trusted friend.
Yeah. Oh my god, he's dead.
Long live the jungle.
Yeah, something that's definitely fucking happening. There's no way he's just gonna kill himself. Oh shit. Really? Somebody catch him.
After deciding that being a criminal in hiding isn't how he wanted to live, Wazak instead chose to face his inevitable death on his own terms, and by doing so, he gave the jungle one last moment of unity.
Anyone else jumping?
The conflict between the two major jungle tribes was still unresolved, especially now that they were in opposing alliances.
It's just a lot of situations where you think it's gonna like be a big deal and it's gonna help a lot, and then it actually doesn't do a goddamn thing. You know, it didn't do a goddamn thing. I mean, I appreciate the idea, and I loved your trap, but I think we had to do more shit. You know, you just going down with that. Like, I understand where you're coming from. I do. It's just it didn't go. Sometimes it doesn't go the way as it goes. Sometimes it doesn't go the way as planned. Excuse me. Sorry. Long video.
But for this brief moment, there was peace in the jungle. Well, that was fun. Everyone's coming down the tree now. Most nations around the world took the end of day 9 to rest and reflect on how far they've come. For example, the jungle's Blue Cross tribe celebrated becoming international with at least one charity location on each island.
Cute.
Meanwhile, in the desert, the two Sultanate militias held a funeral for the late Sultan, where they vowed to get revenge and chanted death to Theria, after which they proceeded to finish building the Sultan's holy city in his honor. Theria, on the other hand, expanded its reach into the arts and became the first civilization to develop music. Oh. Lastly, on the Plains Island, businesses were booming and civilizations were thriving. On day 9, the Plains Island had finished the construction of the ISH, the International State Highway, which made trade and transportation between the major Plains nations much faster. Overall, the building and architecture and player creativity in Plains was simply amazing. And it was all made possible by the political stability of the Plains Island. Many in the desert and jungle and snow looked at Plains as the shining beacon that they can aspire to be like one day.
Why is this would have been like the perfect ending to the video. You know, everybody's getting along and people built some beautiful places. But then oh, beautiful. What the fuck? Sick transition.
As the end of the day approached, a freakin' turkey returned to the Plains Tavern after spending the day traveling around the world, visiting civilizations in the jungle, the deserts, and of course the Plains Island. During many of his visits, he was very surprised when he found out that most people from these foreign nations not only knew about him, but admired him. This was because rumor had spread about his disobedience to Elanulo, and as a result, he had earned a worldwide reputation as the savior of refugees, the honorable rebel, the...
No, we're building too much. We're building too much. A freaking turkey, you can't go to that meeting tomorrow. You can't. Oh my god, what the fuck is he gonna do? What, like, the only thing I can think of is he's gonna try to push him off or like leave him like trapped up there forever so then he can no longer, like, he won't die unless he kills himself. Like, he would have to jump off unless like they make it so he can't and he's just like stuck up there and no one knows where he went. You know, like, what else do you do with a big tower? Unless you need to get high enough where people can't see what you're talking about. Because I'm sure there's some kind of like radius.
Man who stood up to the emperor, and everywhere a freaking turkey went, he was welcomed with open arms. By the way, I think he would have been perfect for that.
Yeah, I heard there was a comedy show here. You should have called me over.
When it came to the Aculon Empire, the truth was, a freaking turkey had no intention of causing any type of uprising or revolution. In fact, he was strictly against the idea, knowing just how devastating a major war would be. But he did want change in the Empire. During his prolonged stay in Plains, he had seen what freedom and democracy look like. He had come to regret his more tyrannical actions in the early days, and he now envisioned a reformed Aculon Empire. His new dream was to bring democracy to Snow, bring freedom to the people of the Aculon Empire, and make the Snow refugees feel safe to come back home.
I might just be overly optimistic, but I think we can achieve world peace.
Okay. If a freaking Turkey is able to convince Alanilo to convert the empire from a tyrannical dictatorship into a free democracy, and then the Aculon Empire ends up joining the Allies, then world peace wouldn't just be a far-fetched idea for wishful thinkers. It would actually happen. With this massive goal in mind, a freaking Turkey prepared for tomorrow.
It's just like this. I always appreciate the cinematic shots. This is him looking out the window, all cinematic. Like, you know, I'm sure like Ish is back there, like trying to like guide whatever. It's like, hey, just here, let's get a good shot like this. If you're thinking about the meeting tomorrow, you're looking out into the abyss. Scene. You go. You know, it's just cute to think about.
For his big meeting with Alanilo.
Here we go. 7:30.
Just remember everything we talked about. We'll be watching.
Before a freaking Turkey took off for the Snow Island, he had met with the 4 major plains leaders one last time to tell them what he hopes to achieve in his
So you know you're gonna die? Is that what you're saying? One last time? Oh my god, it's like if he kills me, that means he's not gonna want this. So you guys gotta, like, if you see my name die, you guys gotta fucking go. Which could be the case. I mean, that's the way to shut it down, I guess. I can't believe we're coming to the end of this.
Coming talk with Alanilo.
Like, even though it's an hour and a half, like almost a half long video, I feel like since I spread it out a little bit, I've been on this journey for a fucking long ass time. I had a lot to think about, you know? You know what I mean? I'm invested. All right, come on, Turkey.
The Plains leaders were pessimistic. See, when they heard about Alanilo's strict conditions for the meeting to take place, they suspected that this was going to be the meeting where Alanilo removes Turkey from his second-in-command position, or worse, puts Turkey in Aculon's prison. Whatever happens today, the Plains leaders promised Turkey that he has the—
Hold on, I want to see that real quick. There's just a cute little thing I saw pop up where it was it says teleported Ish to a freaking Turkey. You know, it's just interesting to like, because I wonder like if that's just an admin thing or if anyone can see. Well, probably not everyone can see that too, but like once you know that Ish is teleporting to certain people, you're like, oh, what the fuck's going on over there?
The Plains leaders promised Turkey that he has the full support of the allied nations. Even if they can't attend the meeting, they will be watching and will do whatever they can to help him.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
There we go. Turkey is now back on the Snow Island. I think he's going to the meeting right away.
Why is this so sad seeming? Yeah. What the fuck? What the fuck?
This is weird. Turkey's been at the castle for like a few minutes now, and Alanilo's nowhere to be seen.
Well, he's probably at the top of this tower thing, right?
Oh, he's right here. He's on his way.
Okay.
Here we go. Everyone's here now. I think everyone's here now. Knights come to the castle. Wow, I think these are all the high-ranking officials of Aculon. They're all here.
Hear ye, hear ye.
I am so curious because obviously it can't go the way I think it would, right? Because I feel like a lot of people, like, you know, even in this nation, love a freaking Turkey. So I feel like I couldn't see them voting against him. But also, I just can't see a freaking Turkey just like taking over this, right? Like the only thing I can see happening is some kind of assassination or some big thing is about to go down. And I don't know which way it's going to go. I can't see Alanilo just dying here. I feel like it's going to be a freaking Turkey and then hell is going to break loose.
All barons, Duke Turkey, and fellow knights have now come together to speak with Emperor Alanilo Elanula, would you please start the
Wait,
conversation?
Turkey, hold up. So before we begin, sorry to interrupt. I have a special thing I want to do real quick.
Wait.
Here.
Drew, not yet. I want to do something first.
I hate this. Because one, I'm like, why are you interrupting this extremely important meeting with your, I have something special. What the fuck you mean something special? Like, let's just get to the goddamn meeting.
Turkey, can you sit on the throne for a second?
Why?
Just do it.
Okay. What are we doing?
What is happening?
Can I trust you, Turkey?
Yeah?
You like
What?
this, right? Sitting on the throne?
You put me on here. I don't know what you're talking about.
In front of all these people?
I hate this.
What are you getting on about?
I know that you've colluded with the Plains Alliance. And I know that you want to take over this nation. Take this throne for yourself.
Whoa. What?
There's nothing you can do at this point to convince me that you're not plotting a revolution against me. I caught you red-handed.
No! Elanulo! Yes, I've talked with Plains. I've also talked with Desert and Jungle. I am a diplomat. And I'll tell you this, all those people that I talked with will become our allies the moment we turn this place into an actual democracy.
Why are you secretly leading people off my island?
Oh, man.
Because they thought you were going to kill them. And to be honest, so did I. So that's the point of this meeting.
I hate this. I cannot see Elanulo's perspective. You know, like he sees like the whole thing as betrayal, you know, but like a freaking turkey, like we talked about this, and the video talked about this, of like they don't want like any kind of complications or war or anything. They just want what's good for the people, you know. And that's it. And Elanulo's just like, you betrayed me, you bitch. And it's just like, no, he just cares for the people, and you're just treating the people poorly. Oh, I would be livid. I don't have the patience for this.
You want to get rid of me? You know what? How about I just leave, and you won't have to deal with me again? I'm just gonna go, okay?
Yeah, and then you'll come back with an army. I'm sorry, Turkey.
A freaking turkey.
Wow.
My freaking turkey.
Oh. Wait, they're killing Turkey's supporters. They're hunting down his supporters as well.
No.
This is crazy. Like that, there was a purge on the Snow Island, and many of Turkey's supporters were killed.
No.
The few who were able to escape immediately swam to the other islands to tell everyone exactly what happened.
That's fucking crazy. We have 10 minutes. How the fuck are we gonna fix this shit in 10 minutes?
And all of the knights started executing Bernie, Ender, Turkey. They assassinated some of the most loved members of Akalon.
When A Freakin' Turkey's death message appeared in chats, people around the world were outraged, and shortly after, the leaders of the allied nations started activating their militaries, putting them on standby.
Turkey once visited Los Pollos Hermanos.
He did.
I'm giving the army chicken for 50% off to make sure they're ready for battle.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Alanulo got word that the Allies were preparing their armies, so he declared a full lockdown, reached out to his own allies, and called them to the Aculon Castle to be ready in case the Allies declare war. And sure enough, when the Plains leaders talked with Theria and Seth, the vote was unanimous. On day 10, the Alliance of Democratic Nations officially declared war on the Aculon Empire.
I just want to say I wish you luck and great success. Hopefully we all see some of you tomorrow to sign the Constitution of the new Aculon Republic, the new Aculon Republic that we all dream about having. Thank you. Thank you all.
This isn't about us. This isn't about our lives. It's about getting justice for Turkey and ridding the world of tyranny.
All the Allied nations met up at the center island so they could attack the Snow Island together.
Today, we fight for revenge. We fight for freedom.
Damn, dude.
But little did the Allies know, Alanulo had set a trap. The Aculon builders had taken inspiration from history and created what they call—
Hold on.
Aculon builders had taken inspiration from history.
Okay. So we're having a final fucking war here. This is wild. Jesus. One death. Turn the world to war. That's crazy, man. What a like story for your character too, you know what I mean? What a beautiful story arc for a freaking turkey. Wild.
And created what they called the Iron Torch, the most advanced defensive tower in the world, complete with dangerous height, sturdy walls, arrow slits, and lava cover.
That's crazy.
This is crazy.
Well, okay. All right. In this situation, this is what we do. I don't think we push said tower. This needs to be like a like an Odyssey thing, right? Where we just cut off everything around it, and we basically just make it an island and a tower and that's it. So whatever resources they have in there, we're gonna fucking wait that shit out until you are out of food and you're fucking. Well, I guess you would still be alive. I think you would just slowly lose health and like stamina or some shit like that, right? But I mean, it would be a long time too. I don't know how many resources they have out there, but we could potentially just wait until their hunger runs out and we just turn everything around us into things to help siege this cat. We build other towers around it because they're not going to move from this position. This is a extremely defensive position. So what we can do, we just line the outside of it, make sure there's no coming in, there's no going out, you know? We cut off all their supply of anything that they can get in. So it's just this tower and then that's it. We build things all around. We can build the same fucking thing all around it. You know, yeah, there's gonna be arrows and stuff flying down, but like they're only gonna have so many arrows, you know, at some point. So as long as you if you get by some, you just take cover and you heal up a little bit and you just continue building your shit. Like, I think that'd be the way to do it, right? Just a slow push. That's it. Build your advantage.
They're here.
The webcam.
Time can never be your trusted friend or your sworn ally. No, it's the harshest mistress of all. And life is just a chain of moments spent, 1,000 hellos and goodbyes. Maybe a love like.
Yeah, I don't think this is as good as you think it is. You know, it's intimidating and you have a lot of advantages, but like this, there's not a, like there's storage up here, but it's definitely not enough for, you know, potentially 100 people up here, unless they're not showing me the whole thing. And like, what's with all these torches? Is it just to keep it bright? Like, why the fuck is it? Like, I feel like you could have used that space a little bit more effectively.
Like ours can leave out its call.
I'm so interested to see what the death count is going to be at the end of this. Because we had, I think, roughly 700 people, right?
They're dropping lava on them!
Oh, the lag.
Watch out for the arrows now! Keep going!
I'm surprised they didn't use like fishing poles, right? Because you could use a fishing pole to like pull people. So like if you're up top, you can just pull them like up and like kind of throw them all over. There's lava all over the place. You're gonna want to kind of move people around. So I feel like that would have been a really good one as well. Yeah, there is. Well, hold on. There is no fucking way. All right, they did have like a floor storage. I'm just telling you. Shut the fuck up, Death. We can't see chat. Oh. Look at that. This place didn't stand a chance, dude. Yep. Big mind underneath them. They fucking got him. They fucking got him.
Died?
What?
Elanulo died! Yes!
They fucking got him.
Soon after Elanulo died, the Aculon Empire officially surrendered.
Wait, Aculon's officials say they surrendered? Still kill them.
But even though Aculon surrendered, the allies didn't stop fighting. No mercy, no mercy. They're all saying no mercy. Like that, there was a purge on the Snow Island. But this time, it was the supporters of Turkey doing the killing. This is just an absolute slaughter fest. After a while, the Allies had completely taken over the Iron Torch, and all of the Aculon forces had either been killed or had fled the island and gone into hiding. And with that, the Alliance...
I was an Elanulo stan in the beginning. Man, I liked the idea at first because it seemed like it was great at unifying everybody, but I think they just take it in a completely wrong direction. I feel like there should have just been an assassination on Elanulo and put a freaking Turkey up there, and I feel like the ice place would have been solid. They would have been perfectly solid, man.
Of democratic nations had defeated the Aculon Empire.
Damn.
It was only when the war ended and the clouds parted, that the Allies were finally able to reflect on what they had done. They had succeeded, but they had also shown no mercy. When their enemy surrendered, they continued to be ruthless and thirsty for blood.
Yeah.
It was as if they had become their enemy. As the Allies each safely returned to their homes, now with a clear mind, many of them felt regret.
Damn.
Neither side was completely innocent, and the war was complicated. But at least it was over. And the Allies had won.
That's beautiful. Play it. 200?
Over the next few days, the people...
50% is still very good for what I assumed to be lost here, all right? We start off with 1,000. If the video ends with 500 people, that is not bad. Yeah, it's a lot of people that died technically, but like I was expecting significantly more casualties. Holy shit.
Of Plains, Theria, Seth, and a few smaller nations created a world alliance with a massive parliament building on the center island where world leaders met to discuss the affairs of their nations and, most importantly, to keep the peace. And the first order of business was pardoning the few living players who fought for Aculon so they didn't have to live in hiding. Meanwhile, the snow refugees were able to move back to the snow island and create the new Aculon Republic, putting democracy in snow. They also tore down the remains of the Iron Torch and put in its place a graveyard honoring all who died in the Battle of Aculon.
The fuck?
And overlooking the graveyard was the man, or turkey, who inspired them all.
It's beautiful. Oh, it's fucking beautiful, yeah. Oh my god, beautiful job, everybody.
And so, the jungle went back to hosting comedy shows, the desert went back to pursuing the arts, and Drift Chicken went back to running Los Pollos Hermanos.
Yeah, a wholesome version,
all
I guess.
that happened throughout the days, things were finally settling down. For many players, the newfound peace allowed for new stories to begin. But for us, it's a good place to end.
Beautiful. Awesome. Beautiful job. Beautiful job. Excellent job, Ish. Everybody. Map creation lead, Alanulo? Hold on a fucking second. Hold on. All right, while I'm going through this. All right, thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed the reaction, please, like, you know, consider supporting the channel with a subscribe or like the video, comment, whatever you want. I love talking about and learning about things in the comments. If you want to see me react to more of this shit, all right, I would love to. All right, this is masterclass. All right, editing, story, obsessed. I would absolutely be honored to watch another one of these. Rich and Poor is 2.5 hours. Holy shit! What the fuck? All right, hold on. Let me just go through this because crazy map creation lead being Alanulo. Is that Alanulo? Because that's kind of nuts that they were like, you know, they helped make the map and they became a piece of shit regardless. You know what I mean? That's wild to me. It's okay. Applications team. Okay. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting to just see that like some of the people that like worked on the video as well, like, to some capacity, were also in the video, if that makes sense. Oh my god. All right, so he did a beautiful job. I've never heard of Ish before, but god, beautiful work. I love it. absolutely love it. See, this is what, again, why I love reactions, is because I didn't even know this fucking thing existed, you know, and now we have significantly more to go through. All right, so if you guys really enjoy this one, this reaction enough, and you want to watch it along with me, just let me know in the comments below. All right, that's all I gotta do, and then I will be totally down for more of this shit. I have kept you guys here long enough. Thank you so much for being here. All right, that was a goddamn journey, and I would do it again. I would be excited to watch this shit again and show other people, so I would understand why so many people like this as much as they do. Man, freaking turkey. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. If you enjoyed the content, consider subscribing to Madables for more reaction content. See ya.